Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football RPG. Today is going to be a fun, special one because we're doing a full first round mock draft for the real NFL to show the fantasy nerds we stay locked in. We know what we're talking about. David, the way we're going to do this, I have the old PFF mock draft simulator. And we probably should have talked about this before the show, but what better time than right now? You want to do odds or evens? I think I'd like to do odds so I can do the Steelers, but
All you then, yeah. Evens gives me the Patriots. Life is good.
perfect. So let's talk about number one overall. Look, the buzz for Abdul Carter is real. The Titans say that they're not going to pass a generational talent, which sounds like Travis Hunter to me. Are they really going to go into another year of Will Levis purgatory? I'm gonna say Abdul Carter. Do you have any pushback on that?
It would probably be Carter for me too, Carter or Hunter. You'd never want to have Levis as QB1 or even fighting for QB1 after that disastrous season, but
Yeah.
I'm not using the first overall pick on Cam Ward. Just can't be done.
Well, we might be using a sooner one on it, but you got the Browns at 2, so you're not using one on Cam Ward.
Yep, and now for everyone listening at home, I'd like to clarify here. We are doing a draft based on what we think will happen, not necessarily what we think should happen.
Yes.
With that disclaimer out of the way, the Cleveland Browns are a disaster. They are not one non-quarterback away from competing, and they can't compete with Watson's contract. So they're going to build for the future. They're going to take the slightest glimmer of hope, and I think they're going to take Cam Ward here.
Oh Lord, this would be the classic Brownsing. Be very sad for fantasy football with that landing spot. I know the draft capital is juicy. We think that means that he's going to have a job for 2 to 3 years. But the stinker on the Browns that just kind of knocks him down every radar.
Yeah, I mean, assuming he and Sanders get similar draft capital, like even in the same round, Ward's going to be my QB1 in this class for Dynasty, and he's my QB1 in real football too. So, I mean, if you have to get one, I'd take Ward.
That's fair. Well, speaking of Sanders, the Giants have a coach and a GM on a must-win situation. They are trying to figure out what they are going to possibly do to keep this offense and this team afloat. I don't know what Dion's going to say, but I think the Giants are going to force themselves into taking a quarterback just because they don't know what else to do. So hopefully this is good for Malik Neighbors. Hopefully this is good for other things, but doesn't look good for Sanders if he goes there, but I think the Giants are setting an environment where they feel like they have to.
Yeah, it's a very Giants pick to do, just force the issue. Frankly, I don't think Sanders is anything close to a franchise quarterback, but we'll see if I'm wrong.
Been wrong before.
Yeah, mistakes happen.
Now it's your guys. Let's talk about the Patriots.
So this is a best case scenario for the Patriots right here. They have their franchise quarterback in Drake May. They have nobody else. So there's really no bad choice. Just grab a blue chip prospect. The best one on the board is Travis Hunter. Obviously, great cornerback, great wide receiver. I suspect he'll be used as a cornerback more in the pros, but putting him in on, like certain packages on offense will make life easier for Drake May. And I can't think of a better cornerback duo from a potential standpoint than Gonzalez and Hunter.
Yep. I also think it's good because you have Gonzalez, who's like the locked-in number one corner, which gives you a little more flexibility if the Patriots wanted to work him in on offense as well. Oh, boy. The Jags are going to eat their vegetables. Their new GM, who is 34 years old and looks like a child, is going to take Mason Graham. He wants to build through the trenches. He wants to run the passing game through Brian Thomas. I don't think they need to add another weapon if that is what their GM is saying. So they're just going to do what they should do, which is also what I think they will do.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer pick for me right there. If I'm Jacksonville, I can't get that pick to Roger Goodell fast enough.
Yep.
And which brings us to number 6. And for the second time in my 3 selections, I need to emphasize this is what I think will happen, not what I think should happen.
Oh, here it is.
You're already hovering over it.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yep, yeah. It's Pete Carroll. He's 73. He He's not changing his ways anytime soon. He's taking the best prospect left on the board, and he's going to run the crap out of the football. It's Genty.
Gosh, that would be so fun. Over under 300 carries.
I'd take the over pretty comfortably.
Yeah, jeez. It's gonna look like the Penn State game. He's gonna have 3.6 yards per carry, but it's gonna be breaking 4 tackles while doing it. The Jets. So I consulted our Jets writer over at Last Run Sports. It's Mike Zimmelman. You can find him on Twitter at mzimmel, Zimmel. He wanted Mason Graham. Mason Graham's gone. He wants Will Johnson. I want to see how this combine goes. If there's some negative buzz around Will Johnson with the injury stuff, I think there's a way that he could end up slipping a little bit. But Mike threw out another idea. Tyler Conklin, not under contract. Offense needs a second weapon. Devontae Adams leaves. Hear me out. This is all thanks to Mike. We're taking Tyler Warren at number 7, our locked-in beat writer.
That is bold. I like it.
It would be fun. That would be fun.
It would be very fun. Whoever the quarterback is next year is going to have a blast with that. But
Justin Fields,
tight end.
All right.
The Panthers. Seeing Tet there is very tempting. They have promising receivers. I don't think they have anyone in Tet's league though. But the defense is so terrible.
Yep.
I'm going to have a tough time going with anyone other than Michael Williams here, which really makes me question PFF's big board if Williams isn't even.
They got him at 22. He's not that bad.
Okay. I think he's more top 10, top 15, but, that's splitting hairs.
I think he's going to test like an alien, and then he's going to shoot up big boards, so we're all going to be excited. Oh, God. I should have taken Evans. The New Orleans Saints. All right.
What do you get for the team that needs everything?
So if they work their magic and they get under the cap, it's going to involve them just trying to fill in pieces and holes and try and scrape together a team. They're set at quarterback because they have to be. They're set at receiver because they actually are. I think McMillan would be funny there, and we've seen the Saints do some funny things. But I do think that they're just going to take the edge rusher, try and improve that offense. James Pierce Jr., I think, because of the SEC bump, because of the athletic testing that we're projecting, that is the kind of guy that I think they will bet on.
All right. And somehow, some way, Will Campbell is still there at number 10.
Ooh, real quick shout out. So Isaac Zuniga at Last Word on Bears, he would sorry, I sniped him, James Pierce Jr. or Armand Membu.
He's a Membu guy?
He's a big fan of Membu.
I like him too, but I'm not taking him over Campbell because I think he's a tackle. There are arm length questions, size questions. His worst case scenario is being a fantastic guard, and the Bears need one of those two.
Okay. No pushback there, but just wanted to give Isaac his flowers. He's locked in, has been covering the Bears for a while. Go give him a follow.
I'll have to ask Isaac if he thought Campbell would still be there at 10 when he said that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so now we got the 49ers who need offensive linemen because Trent Williams can't play forever. So this is actually where I will take Armand Membu. Listen, I think Kelvin Banks, he's probably more athletic, so there's going to be, the untapped potential. But Membu is a greater. He is an angry boy, the much more physical player, which I think San Francisco is going to lean themselves into.
All right, Dallas is on the clock. Time for the fall to stop. Tet, get over there.
God, that would be nasty. Dak Prescott,
CeeDee Lamb, and Tet. I don't care if I'm the running back. That offense will be fun. Shoddy, you can't ruin this.
I would draft so much Dak Prescott in best ball and fantasy. All right, we got the Miami Dolphins at 13. I was trying to pull some people. Nobody knows what they're going to do. So, in a very funny turn of events, I think that they could be the team that is willing to bet on Will Johnson. Their corners are getting a little bit older. They're trying to figure out, what this defense is going to look like. It would be a good get him in there, let him learn for a little bit, and just run a wild defense with some savvy veterans in zone. And then if Will Johnson returns to form, nasty man-to-man coverage.
That was You sniped me because that's what I was doing with the Colts at 14. So I got to think for a second here.
Oh, tight end. 2 tight ends in the top 15. Just be degenerates.
I no, I like Loveland. I don't like him that much. I guess we'll. I'm put on the spot here. I'll probably go Mike Green. Either Mike Green or Barron. What do you think?
I
I'll use you as the tiebreaker because I'm torn 50-50.
don't know where the Barrett hype is coming from. I'm a Texas fan. My brother-in-law lives in that area. He's fine. He's a very good zone corner. He's going to be a solid starting nickel corner. The top 10, top 15 buzz is blowing my mind. He's 23 and he's had one good season. And it was
okay. I didn't know he was 23. Let's completely take that off. Yeah, I'm not touching him for a while. It's Mike Green.
Dude, Mike Green and Latu. That'd be fun. All right. Well, the Falcons need an edge rusher, as they always have. But they could do it from the interior with a Kenneth Grant or a Walter Nolan. Let's check some of the edges that are still available. Jamar Stewart, Nick Scourton. I think they're just going to beef up their interior even more with. Listen, I know that they just spent pick on his Rukaroro, right? That was last year.
Yep. Yeah. That was the Falcons.
Look, he was fine. Go get yourself a Kenneth Grant. Get a real difference maker. Get an athletic freak. I think they have been bottom of the league in sacks since 1492-ish. So, yeah. Cardinals at 16.
All right. Is Membo's still out there, isn't he? Did we take him already?
We did.
Oh, no.
Membo went 11 to the 49ers.
Okay. That's right, he did. I do want to go. I'm feeling offensive line here. Are there any?
I have a shout out for the Cardinals from our Cardinals beat writer, Michael Haney. That's at Michael Haney NFL. He wants Kenneth Grant, who I just stole.
Too bad, Mike.
Sorry.
Let's see. All right, so if the Cardinals are on the clock, I'm not feeling great about any linemen. Like, I wanted to go offensive line. I don't think there's any real great ones left.
Well, Josh Simmons action?
Okay, PFF likes him a little bit more than I do, but let's see. Yeah, we got him at 16. That's not a bad value.
Could reach on Gray Zabel, just have a hell of a time.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it.
On Zabel?
Oh no, not Zabel.
Josh Simmons. All right. Yeah. Yep. Paris Johnson.
Oh, Mike, I think I lost you.
Let's see. Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I just missed a sentence or two there.
Sorry about that. But anyway, we have our Bengals writer who says Grant or Nolan smells like a Bengals pick at 17. So let's just pick the easy button.
Those character concerns.
Let's just pick the massive human being that pushed around SEC offensive linemen for years. Works for me. Seattle, running back.
Pete Carroll may be gone, but his spirit lives on. I want a linebacker. Give me Jihad Campbell.
Dude, what a great name for a linebacker.
Yeah, it is such a shame that he's a top 15, top 20 talent, because what I would give for him to fall to the Bills, just for the memes.
Oh, my Lord. That would be not good, as one would say. Listen, the Buccaneers, they need an edge rusher. They need a linebacker. They could probably use some defensive back help. Did they end up re-signing their safety yet? Trying to figure this out.
Thornhill, you mean?
Yes.
They're going to let him hit free agency.
Okay.
There's just a report about that in the last day or two.
Well, how do you feel about taking a safety at 19?
I'm not opposed to it. I say, yeah, let's live wild. Let's do it.
Oh man. Look, Head over to Last Word on Sports. I did a little research project last offseason identifying contract size and how that would relate to how advantageous a rookie pick is. Safety bottom of the barrel, running back bottom of the barrel, tight end bottom of the barrel. Guard was, but the market kind of ballooned there. So there's just a couple of picks that don't make sense to me, but teams make them because you can just pick good players and have good players, and that's allowed.
Speaking of which, the Denver Broncos are on the clock, and I'm about to record what will undoubtedly be the lowest PFF grade on this draft. You know, they grade every pick at the end. Bring up the running backs.
Oh, man.
And I'm emphasizing again, this is not what I would do. This is what I think they will. Cam Scadabo's their number 2 running back? Or number 3 running back? Yeah, because, wow, that's a choice.
We're throwing those rankings out the window. Go check out our top 5 running back rankings. PFF, what do they know?
Yeah, that was a questionable pick. But the top guy remaining, Sean Payton, he loves him some running backs. He doesn't have any of them.
Yep.
Bring him on.
Yep, Omari and Hampton. This is everything that he was hoping Audric Estime would be. Pittsburgh Steelers, this is an easy one. I know Luther Burden screams at us, ranked at 7, ADP of 15, but I think the Steelers are going to want Emeka Egbuka. Violent in the run game, early producer from Ohio State, so low moving costs. That's a reference to the NFL Stock Exchange. Go check them out. It's a lot to like about Egbuka, and I think he fits what the Steelers are looking for in a number 2 receiver.
Okay, and we're going to keep that train going. This time we are going to go Burton. Chargers need a receiver. McConkey's great. Quentin Johnston is not. And no matter how hard John Harbaugh tries, he will need to throw the football at some point.
Yep. Burden was a little bit of a, he was a slot boy, but he was also big on design touches and making a little bit of that happen after the catch. I think Burden, people are going to say it's redundant, but you can't have too many weapons, and right now they don't have enough. So
yeah, and McConkey can move out wide too. He's not just a slot guy.
And so can Burden, and I think people are just seeing the snaps and they're like, slot, and making it derogatory. The Packers are going to trade one of their corners. So, all right, this is what we think will happen. I could see them just going ahead, biting the bullet, taking Jahdae Barron. I'm going to do that. Minnesota Vikings.
So there's some projection involved in this pick here because I don't see Cam Robinson coming back. Frankly, I don't see how they can afford it. So they're going to need a tackle. Give me Kelvin Banks. And if anyone's watching this in the future, if Robinson does re-sign, that's not my pick anymore. But we have to make some assumptions.
Just pretend that didn't happen. All right, let's head over to wide receiver. I know the Matthew Golden buzz is real. I think that actually that would be a great pick for them, but I just want to call out some other guys that I could see sneaking in here. I think Alec Ayomanor is a very good run blocker. He's almost – his best flashes look like Nico Collins. His worst flashes look like Quentin Johnston, so find somewhere in between. Jack Besh was the number 1 receiver out of Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and himself while he was a freshman at LSU. And Xavier Restrepo, very fun little slot guy. They hate Trey Harris.
Oh, wow.
Who I think is another name that could sneak into the back of the first top 50 pick area. But I'm just going to pick Matthew Golden. He's going to fly on Sunday. There's a lot of like in his game. Watch the playoff. Those are the games that are exciting. If you watch the regular season, it took a little bit of time to accumulate coming from Houston.
All right, so now it's the Rams, and I don't love this pick, but we're going to have to assume Stafford is there. Bring up the tight ends, please.
Oh, Colston Loveland.
Yeah, bring it on.
You are a Los Angeles Ram. And the Baltimore Ravens are just going to continue to click the number 1 name on the board for them. I think Shamar Stewart could test very well. I think he's not super bendy, but he is a little bendy. And unless there's another name, Scourton, I think Stewart makes a little more sense because they're just every single year. It's the consensus board. They just sort it at the top, and they just take the top guy, and we all cheer for them.
And what's wild is that strategy seems to work. For years, the Ravens are always near the top. For years, we clowned on the Eagles for just, Howie signing guys you've heard of, and they just won the Super Bowl with the best roster in the game.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, this is the lesson: auto draft.
Oh,
right.
man.
Lions are up, and this is an easy choice for me because you just find the best defensive player left. Right now, pretty much any position, they need it. They see Harmon's the top one on their board. Are there any fun edge defenders or cornerbacks that maybe PFF's underrating?
I think Scourton could be good for them. Corner. Siobhan Ravel is the all-time upside pick. He was supposed to be a 0-star recruit because he was academically ineligible, but they made him a 3-star because he's that good. His makeup speed, when a receiver gets past him, he is so fast catching up to them that he'll sometimes overrun the receiver. If they can just get him to play under control, he's going to be nasty.
That does sound like a Dan Campbell guy, but I can't justify that in the first.
All right, let's go to edge real quick.
Yeah.
Donovan Ezraku. Jack Sawyer is a Dan Campbell pick. I think JTT is better. I think a lot of these guys are better, but Jack Sawyer just has the aura.
If I'm Detroit, in reality, I'm probably trading back. But since we're not doing that, I'm leaning Scourton. Didn't you want to talk me out of that? Or are we good with that?
No, let's just go ahead and take him.
Let's do it.
No complaints. Washington Commanders. Oh, baby. We're doing it. We're doing it. Come on home. I know they hate Trey Harris. First round's a little steep. Why don't we just protect our boy? I think Josh Connerly. Do I remember right? Does he have? He's a little better measurables than old Gray Zabel. Oh, Lord. Clicking everywhere. Nope. Zabel's massive. Don't know where that came from. Is there anyone else that you think the Commanders should take here other than a tackle or a receiver?
No, that's all else being equal. That's pretty much what you have to go for right now.
All right. Let's go ahead and give him Zabel and see if it gets worse.
Works for me.
Sweet. The Bills.
The Bills.
That would be this one.
Yes. Yeah. No, don't overthink it. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep. Derek Harmon, dominant, twitchy, interior defensive lineman.
Really great pick at 31.
Just, yeah, you love to see it. Kansas City Chiefs. We're at 2 running backs right now?
Yeah, Hampton and Genty.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
What are these rankings?
Travion Henderson is going to run unreasonably fast. If they keep Pacheco, if they bring back Hunt, they have their little, thump for 3 yards and give me a little bit of upside there. Henderson is their guy that they can use as an offensive weapon. I think they could go that way. And it would be fun, so I'm clicking it.
All right, and the Eagles are on the clock. I mean, this is the closest thing the NFL has to a perfect roster, so you basically got to go for the best player left. Walker, Howie does not like linebackers. I don't see it happening.
Well, good thing he played most of his snaps at the D-line. They just list him at linebacker because they're silly.
Okay. Does he project as a linebacker at the next level? I won't lie. I haven't done much on Walker.
Jalen Walker he's going to be an edge. All right. I think he is similar to Micah Parsons coming out of college in how often that he's playing both positions. Okay. He is not similar in that he does not have the same athleticism upside. He's not going to turn into one of one. Yes. He could be. Oh, who was the other Bulldog that they picked recently?
Nakobe Dean?
Yes. He could be similar to. No, not Nakobe Dean. Whatever. There's so many Bulldogs on this defense.
Yeah.
2023 Eagles draft. They picked Nolan Smith is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Nolan Smith,
Bulldog.
Played some snaps, ended up doing his thing. Yeah, look, we need to not screw it up for Evan. Evan, thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. and Drew, Eagles UGA player. Let's just...
Yeah, screw it, Walker.
All right. You guys want to see what PFF has to say about our picks? Oh, God, they're going to be so mad at us.
They're going to hate Hampton.
We're fine. It says that play isn't in our playbook yet because we have too many teams.
PFF can't even process it.
They hate it so much. So, real quick recap for the audio-only listeners. We have the Titans with Abdul Carter, the Browns with Keon Ward, the Giants with Shadur Sanders, the Patriots with Travis Hunter, Jags with Mason Graham, the Raiders with Ashton Genty, the Jets with Tyler Warren, and a surprise pick from Mike Zimmelman, Panthers with Michael Williams, Saints with James Pierce Jr., Bears with Will Campbell, San Francisco with Armand Membu, Cowboys run to the podium for Tet McMillan, Miami, Will Johnson, pending medicals, Colts, Mike Green, pending life, Falcons, Kenneth Grant, Cardinals, Josh Simmons, Bengals, Walter Nolan, beefing up the inside to try and stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and whatever the Steelers throw out there, Seahawks with Jihad Campbell, Bucks with Malachi Starks, Broncos, Omarion Hampton, Steelers, Emeka Egbuka, Chargers, Luther Burden, Packers, Jahdae Barron, Vikings, Kelvin Banks, Texans, Matthew Golden. I didn't realize how many picks I was going to have to say out loud when I started this. It's approximately 32. The Rams with Colston Loveland, the Ravens with Shamar Stewart, the Lions with Nick Scourton, Commanders with Gray Zabel, Bills with Derek Harmon, and Chiefs, Travion Henderson, and the Eagles with another Georgia Bulldog, Jalen Walker. Who was your favorite pick?
Favorite pick of the bunch? I'm biased, but the idea of the Patriots getting Travis Hunter at 4 makes me very, very happy.
That would be wild.
It's either that one or Ted at 12 to the Cowboys.
I think that one is one of my favorites, but I wonder what that would look like for fantasy because it's CeeDee Lamb's offense and we're just living in it.
Well, I mean, we've seen it work before with 2 high-end receivers in Cooper and Lamb. So
true.
Dak's good enough. My biggest worry there would be, would Shoddy actually let them air it out enough for it to be fun?
No, they're going to re-sign Rico Dowdle and run it 30 times.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
Biggest concerns heading into this weekend, I think if Gray does the testing and he doesn't look, like he can scoot enough, the Commanders could move off of that pick. I think the 3 running backs, people are going to say fantasy show. I hate those people, but they look, it's a loaded class. Either they're going to play chicken or they're going to draft them early, or maybe they do both.
Yeah, and I can see a lot of people in the NFL world seeing, look, the Eagles spent big on Saquon Barkley and they won it all. The running backs, I don't think anyone's going to go back to the days where they thought they were the second most important position to quarterback. But I do think a lot of teams are going to see what happened with Saquon, to a lesser extent what happened with Henry in Baltimore, and say, hey, a great running back can be a cherry on top. And I think we are that one guy away.
I could see owners that aren't really locked in with this stuff being like, I saw that. I want that. Make it happen.
Yep.
And let's see. I think most fun pick has to be Emeka Egbuka to the Steelers. Anything else on our first round mock draft? You want to close it out for the day?
I suppose that's it. One last thought is just, as we're recording this, Matthew Stafford is a Ram. If a trade happens, obviously that'll affect the top of the board. It would probably be the Giants or Raiders. So who knows? We will see what happens there.
We'll see. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. And David, thanks for drafting with me. That was a blast.
Always a pleasure.
All right. See you guys next time.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't let the Goblins get you.